Hello and welcome back to Savvy Living, where in addition to featuring killer gifts, gets, and getaways, we also connect with insightful guests, and today is no different. Joining us now is entrepreneur, investor, and wealth coach Derek Moneyberg, here to tell us why right now is a fantastic time to establish and grow a business and create additional income streams, especially for those who are entrepreneurship and independence minded. Hello, Derek. Welcome to Savvy Living.
Oh, thanks so much for inviting me. Appreciate it.
So first, so many people want to break away from their 9-to-5 grind, but just don't know where to start. So what advice do you have to help someone transition from being an employee and working for someone else to owning their own business or even investing in one?
You may or may not be an entrepreneur, but people who act entrepreneurially, even in a business that they may be an employee of at the moment, are still going to have better rewards. You're going to have more raises, more promotions, higher status in that organization, and you're learning the business more deeply. So whether you're currently an entrepreneur or not, if you want to be an entrepreneur in the future, or even if you want to have a higher status within your organization, you know, more raises, more promotions, again, more latitude to make decisions yourself and have more control of your life, you have to understand entrepreneurship. And I'd say understanding entrepreneurship to a great extent is understanding what are the fundamental thoughts and processes of running a business. And you can't be an investor if you don't know how to run a business. So I look at these things as building blocks that, even if you're not a business owner yet, behave with more responsibility within your current organization, earn those raises, earn those promotions, learn higher level business functions. Then you can start to develop a secondary income that, more entrepreneurially related. And if you did decent at that, you don't have to be great. You don't have to be a world's best entrepreneur. World's best entrepreneur today has maybe $200 billion. There's a couple of guys teetering around $200 billion. You don't have to be world's best. But if you were an okay entrepreneur, you'd make a few $100,000 or a couple million. You could do that. All right? So that's not going to happen without having a deeper understanding of business. And you're not going to be able to be a high-level investor without understanding how a business functions, because investing is just owning a portion of the economy or a portion of a business. So it's really vital for your development that you take more responsibility within your current organization, start looking at creating secondary incomes. At some point, if your secondary income gets high enough, you won't have time to go to your job anymore because you're making too much money independently. And likewise, at some point, your business income may be significant enough that you've spent enough money investing that your investments outweigh your income from your business. And then you might not have time to show up for your entrepreneurial endeavors unless you really want to. You'll be focused on the things that you're passionate about. You'll be focused on the things that you care about. And you have the financial freedom to do what you want with the rest of your life.
So how about yourself? Did you have any kind of aha moment when you knew you wanted to break out on your own in the pursuit of financial freedom or other motivations?
I had a rather frustrated childhood, and I didn't want to have a frustrated adulthood. So that was a strong emotional motivator for me to make some of those sacrifices. And I started being involved in entrepreneurship at age 7. I was walking some dogs and cutting grass and trimming bushes. 7, it's a little dangerous to use a lawnmower even, but it was. So I wanted to go find some money, and to me, money just equaled freedom. That I felt my parents didn't have much money. We had a lot of financial constraints in the household, and I wanted more freedom to have things that other people had. And I kind of got in that habit at an early age of being industrious and looking for opportunities. And later on, I felt that I have more than I ever thought that I could have at that age. As a teenager or a young child, done a lot better than I ever could have imagined. And that gave me some enthusiasm that I'm like, well, I like helping. I don't have children. I'm not interested in raising children, but I like helping other people that are serious in that way. Kind of my fatherly instinct, if you will, is to help other people that are serious, that are dedicated, that had some of the same frustrations that I did, and they're dedicated to do something about it. So I do find a lot of personal joy in that.
So relative to your childhood circumstances, I understand from reading your bio that you grew up in an underprivileged neighborhood in Chicago. So how did that experience motivate and propel success for your adult life?
If you're a child, you might have a so-called underprivileged circumstance, but if you're an adult and you're still in that situation, I really think it's your own fault. There's every day you get to vote with your decisions what sort of future you're going to have. You get 10,000 little moments every day to make a decision to vote. How is my future going to be? Am I making things better, or am I letting things get worse? So you don't get to stay in the same spot. You're either making things better, or the natural state is decay. So for the people that are serious about making things better, they make those decisions, and they make adult decisions and have adult outcomes. And if you want more freedom, the best way to get what you want in life is to deserve it. So That gave me a lot of motivation that some people, they got a good work ethic or big dreams until it gets inconvenient, until their life is inconvenienced, until they feel a little tired. And I think some of those harsher circumstances earlier in life, and I see this with my clients as well, people that came from, they have an immigrant mentality, if you will, that they came from worse places and they're delighted to have the opportunities that we have here. They work hard. And I felt that way. I came from a lesser place than I wish I did at the time, but it's my best motivator to go do better and make a better circumstance for myself and the people I care about.
For younger generations looking to build wealth for their brand new or even their future family, what advice would you give them to take those important first steps?
It's really important to learn from other people's mistakes. If you only learn from your own mistakes, then you're going to make a lot of mistakes and you're going to have a lot of wasted time and a lot of time spent on recovery. I really urge you, the younger you are, the greater opportunity you have to compound the gains, the greater opportunity you have to really create tremendous success. But to do that, you really have to learn from other people's mistakes. And that's why you get teachers and coaches in in a university setting, in a sports team setting, where a lot of people come to me for that in a business setting, that they want good mentors that you can learn from my mistakes, from the cumulative mistakes of those around me that I've known over the years, other entrepreneurs and established entrepreneurs and also clients of mine that went on to do successful things. Learn from their mistakes instead of making them yourself. Those are the only two choices. If you don't learn from other people's mistakes, you're going to make a lot of unnecessary ones, and that interrupts the compounding and causes a lot of frustration that is totally avoidable.
So on the investing side of things, what is the best way to even begin? And is this realistic for those who don't have much discretionary income?
A really sad thing that I hear is people have, I think, a misperception that, well, I'm from this country or that country, so I can't invest, or I'm young, so I can't invest. Yeah, you can. And the compounding that comes from that, anybody that understands compound interest, Einstein referred to as the eighth wonder of the world for a reason, that the earlier you start, you're not just missing the gains from say, age 20 to age 30, but the compounding of that, you really miss the gains from say age 70 to age 80, which is a tremendous number. Based on all historical data, in the United States and Europe and the majority of the world, if you look at a long-term index chart, they're up, 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 up. And there's volatility in between. They go down in between for a bit, and then they go up, up, up. It's kind of the nature of markets. So, the sooner you get started, even if you don't quite know what you're doing yet, buy an index if you don't know what you're doing. At least you're participating in the economy as a whole. And as you get more sophisticated, you're going to be able to understand more nuanced things of futures or options or specific stock picking, et cetera. But you have to start early. If you don't know what else to do at an early age, buy an index. If it's only a few dollars, then you can buy fractional shares today. Spend a few dollars and start understanding what's going on in the market so you can be a great beneficiary of them over time.
So with that, it seems that no matter your income, you can't afford not to get in the game on some level, that it seems counterproductive not to do so.
Your competition's doing it, and if you're not keeping it up, you're going to be left behind. And look in the mirror and blame yourself when that happens.
So if someone's actually completely new to investing, what simple advice would you give them about where to invest their money to help them build their wealth? And is there a certain income percentage that you suggest allocating to investment activities?
Allocate as much as you can, and allocate more than you think you can. And there's no permutation where your future self is going to be disappointed that you have more money. There's no permutation in the future where you're going to be, man, I wish I spent that extra income on nonsense when I was young instead of having all this extra wealth later in life. It's not going to happen. You're never going to feel bad about that. But Ben Franklin said, and I think there's a lot of wisdom to it, that the best investment a person can make is in themselves. So in their knowledge base or in their wisdom. And combined with my comments of you have to learn from other people's mistakes. You also have to learn positive practices. You have to learn positive habits. You have to learn how an economy functions, how a business functions. And you don't need to reinvent algebra all by yourself. You don't need to reinvent a wheel all by yourself. There's systems out there that are already working. Some of them they teach in business school. Some of them you have to hire a mentor or a coach who's done the things that you want to do, and then mirror those things and understand what are the timeless principles that helped that person, helped other people in their situation. It would also help you to have more freedom than you could currently imagine.
Such valuable insights, Derek. Thank you so much for joining us today on Savvy Living.
Thanks so much for inviting me. I appreciate it. Thank you.
And to learn more from and about Derek, just go to moneyberg.com.